The last time we spoke, Katie, you said something to me that I've never forgotten. You said that the mind is a child and it believes what we tell it. That runs counter to so much of what we're taught about the brilliance of the mind. I loved the way you referred to the mind as a child. Could you say more about that?
Well, yes. I'm referring to the mind as ego. And ego, it's a childish, immature, innocent that needs more information. And I don't know if it's more information or not, Mark, but it needs to be enlightened to what it's thinking because it's so far off base. It's so untrue to what it wants, to what it's really looking for. It's like if I have the thought, for example, I can't do it. Let's say maybe I'm in bed and I'm really lazy. I don't know what this comes from. I don't experience this anymore, but I did for years. I can't get up this morning. I'm just too tired. So I can't get up. Is it true? Well, yes, I can't. So this is that mind responding to just a thought, I can't get up. And it's negating, it is reinforcing what it believes to be true. Mm-hmm. It's like that early in the morning, it has already started its job. Now, how do I react as that identified person in bed? How do I react when I believe the thought? My mind just pounds all of this into me, that I can't get up. It gives me every reason why it's true. So that's how I react when I believe it. So with these 4 questions I work with, I can't get up. Is it true? Can I really know that it's true that I can't get up? How do I react when I believe the thought? I'm bombarded with every reason. Why not? I'm too tired. It's not worth it. They won't mind if I'm late for work. I'm always on time. It's okay today. I mean, these things are they're just, here they go. So then who would I be without the thought I can't get up? So in that, just witnessing who I am without that thought, eventually I get up or I don't. And without all of that stress on me, either way, I'm lying in bed, I enjoy it as opposed to being miserable there. Mm-hmm. So I win. I like to say there are two ways of lying in that bed, and one of them is at peace and one is not. And either way, you get up eventually anyway. Right. And without the burden, when we're clear-headed, it's effortless. There's no reason to lie there, and there's no reason not to. So then when I turn it around, I can't get up. Then an opposite is I can get up and I can test it without my mind being bombarded with reasons that I can't. I can test it, and it's effortless until finally the mind is awake to itself and no longer a child. It's not playing with those toys. So now that I'm up, let's say I got up the hard way, and my mind's going, oh, I'm so tired, I'll be glad when I'm retired and I don't have to do this anymore, and I need more time off. All this is going on. That's that child's mind again. It's like there's something wrong with my life, etc. Okay, now what if we treated that mind like it was a child and just began to talk to it? Now my language would be, and everyone would have their own, but just a gentle, is it true? Are you sure? And not this brutal, oh, there's something the matter with me. I'm so stupid. I don't have great examples or references for this anymore. Mm-hmm. It's been so many
but
years,
it makes complete sense.
But you can find your own scenario, and it works with anything where the mind is. When we're worried and stressed out, we are witnessing that mind that is so uneducated. It is so infantile. I mean, look how we react when we believe the thoughts. Childish mind, childish life. And war is for children. They just don't know any better.
What I love so much about the way you frame that is that it's not so much about making the right decision or the right choice. It's about being at peace with whatever your choice is.
Yes. Yes, because either way, it's reality.
Right.
And there are two ways of experiencing reality. One is to love what is, and one is to be at war with it. And, we don't make great decisions when we're at war.
Right. And there's not much middle ground, is there? You either accept...
There's not.
Mm-mm.
There's not. Because the mind, it loves proving that it's right, so there's no middle ground there. It's got to win. And so my work is about the end of war with the self, the end of the mind's war with itself.
Beautiful.
As long as the mind is at war with itself, we'll have war in our world.
And what about the role of the body and emotions in this, Katie? You talk so much about the mind and thinking. What is the role of emotion and feeling in self-inquiry?
Okay, so that third question out of four, that third one, how do I react when I believe the thought? All the emotions are there. Like, he doesn't care about me. How do I react when I believe that thought? He walked into the room and he just walked in the room. That's all he did. He's guilty of walking into the room, period. That's it. Maybe he even said good morning. But my mind, he doesn't care about me. And when I believe that about him, I superimpose that identity on him. How do I react when I believe the thought, well, I was in a good mood, but I'm not now? And all he did was walk into the room. Because my mind is going, he doesn't really care about me. I don't know why he's pretending that everything's okay right now. He never cleans, he never washes his teacup or coffee cup, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it just goes on and on and on when it believes he doesn't care about me. And the emotions, you can feel them as we talk about them. It was a beautiful morning until he walked into the room. Okay, so who am I without the thought? He doesn't care about me. He walks into the room, and my morning hasn't changed. It's been added to.
Mm-hmm. And does the thought always precede the emotion?
Always.
That's fascinating. And I think a lot of folks believe that feelings exist apart from thoughts.
A lot of people, it's only right that they would believe that because they don't know the creator of everything, existence, even their own identities, which they see as themselves. So and again, it's only right that they would because the emotion, the feelings are what they experience first because they're unaware.
Right.
So they have to believe that. But if a person felt the emotions, and now meditators come to this easily. If you identify, and you know the work, you identify the emotions, you don't have to. They let you know loud and clear. So then if you get really still and you notice what you're thinking and believing, you see the cause of the emotions. And then you come to understand that, in fact, thoughts, we think, then feel, then we act on those feelings. And that's what we have. A good day, a bad day, a good moment, a bad moment, whatever you're in touch with.
All traceable back to a thought.
All. And by thought, I mean like concepts, judgments.
Right. Tell me, Katie, do you encounter a fear of freedom and a fear of happiness in students?
Yes. Oh yeah. And I understand that well. Their identities are being threatened. Who am I? That question. If I'm not believing this, who am I without my identity? And it's that big don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I've tested it, and it's like, who am I? Who am I without, let's say, the thought, whatever it is I'm working on, and between you and me, who am I without my mind? It's just noticing that I, whatever that is okay. There's no proof otherwise. If I'm sitting here and let's say I'm worried and I notice my thinking and I begin to laugh because this work is so alive in me now, and it is so many people now. But I begin to question what I'm believing, and now that, let's say that I'm left without what I was believing. So who am I? I'm the woman sitting in the chair talking to my friend. So that's what I love about the turnarounds. It always brings everyone back safely to reality, as we understand it, reality without the fear. And in that, oh my goodness, Mark, that is where the creative mind has space to live. It has space because as long as we're judgment, this is not okay, that's not okay, and he shouldn't, I shouldn't, and I want, I need, and all this is going on, there is absolutely no room for the creative mind to live. And that creative mind, that source, there's nothing it can't heal. War in the world, resources, politics, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's sane, and there's nothing to argue against it. That's why occasionally in history we have these really clear beings that can move forward with, fearlessly move forward. And it's so attractive that it appeals to us because it makes sense. And it shifts everything. It doesn't shift.
And do we fear happiness for the same kind of reasons that we fear freedom?
Yes, people when they're happy, they actually feel guilty sometimes. And also, when we're happy, we can the ego can just take that over too. Like, oh, I'm the happiest person in the world, or I'm happier than you are. I mean, the ego will just take anything over, and the way it takes it over is the identity that is thinking and believing its thoughts. I talk about seeking love, approval, and appreciation, and invite people to see, can you find a time when you haven't? Find a moment in your life when you were not seeking love, approval, and appreciation in the company of other people.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's so much fun, It's so much fun when we understand that the mind isn't this terrible thing. It's just this misunderstood, childlike expression, creator.
Right. Katie, I want to talk to you a little bit about the connection between love and pain. Most anyone you ask will say that there can be no love without pain, because I think most of us have now not experienced love without pain. How would you address that belief?
Well, I one way that comes to mind is personalities don't love; they want something, and when they lose that something, then it's the identity that's suffering. It's fearful. It's like let's say two people are attracted to each other. Usually, it's because this is the short version. They're complimenting each other. I smile at him, he smiles at me, looks like everything's fine. He says, I say something, he laughs, I think I'm in love. We just had this instant, just love at first sight. Well, yeah, he sees me the way I want to be seen, I see him the way he wants to be seen. And so we continue on from this innocence to this seeking each other's love, approval, and appreciation, and then when we marry or we're together for a while, our true identities start showing, not our really true identities, but it begins to fall apart because, he doesn't understand why I've changed, because when I stop seeking his love, approval, and appreciation, he doesn't recognize me anymore. Is his natural self, and he stops seeking my love, approval, and appreciation. In other words, he stops pleasing me, then I don't recognize him. It's like, why do I care about him? So it's kind of like that. Personalities don't love, they want something. But now, love, no one's been hurt over love. But what we call love, we're going to be hurt over. Because if you really love me, you will, you would, you should.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like you're saying that love truly, for it to be love, it really is unconditional.
It really is unconditional, or we're calling something love that isn't.
Just in the same way that love without pain is unimaginable for a lot of folks, so is awakening or enlightenment without struggle and pain hard to imagine. That has not been your experience.
Well,
can you talk a little bit about separating struggle from spiritual awakening?
for me, I just noticed the difference. I noticed that, yes, I was going into some really unknown territory for sure, but it could not be as difficult as what I had survived, which was depression.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was. I was so depressed when the work found me. It's like I didn't know where it was going to take me. I only knew I didn't want to be where I was. And something within me understood it was a state of mind. But I didn't have any help along the way and had to figure these things out for myself, or had the privilege of figuring them out for myself. And hopefully it saves a lot of people from having to do that. Yeah, it's really scary turf, but when you look back at the world as we understand it, especially in this climate, oh my goodness, you have no way to go but up. My website and the School for the Work, it's turning young. It's the ages are just, the ages, like they were there at, what was it, like 13 years old and 16
really?
years old, yes, and bringing their parents, and rather than the other way around, and I'm sure that would be a combination of mutual wanting to come, but then there were young people there that were like 18 and 20 and 24, that whose parents were not. We did not require their parents to come, of course, because they're not minors, but they're filling the rooms. It's a most amazing thing. Our generation, my generation, has just not left them a lot of hope. There's not a lot to, they look at their resources, and not only are we not stopping what we're doing, but we're increasing
mm-hmm.
the youth. And they see, that's what they can see. So it leaves, the only way. Somehow it could be that they're just figuring out that you've got to go in if you're going to find anything worth finding.
Right.
And I don't know if that's true or not, because I have not talked to them. I've just watched the popularity of the work.com and the numbers on it. The largest age group, 18 to 24.
That's amazing.
That's amazing.
That really is amazing.
It is.
And it gives you hope.
That's something I've got plenty of. And here's why, Mark. It doesn't matter if we're down to the last drop of water. What we're thinking and believing is always going to be the only problem we've got.
So walk me through that, Katie. If there's no water...
if there's no more water, the worst that can happen is what I'm thinking and believing.
Right. If there's no water and we can't, and we die, then we die.
Yes, but
the
even
rest
while
of that,
we're living,
but beyond that, before that, it's all in our mind. Is that what I hear you saying?
Yes, exactly. But people don't understand the phrase "all in our minds." It's what I'm thinking and believing about starvation, or about my life and death, the future. What I'm thinking and believing is all the pain I'm going to suffer. Even physical pain is a projection of mine. Now, that is going way far out for a lot of people. However, it's true. But it's not true if they don't believe it to be true. So, it's a paradox there. But I love inviting people never to believe a word I say, but just to test it for themselves.
Yeah, that's why the work is so powerful. It's not about convincing anyone of anything. It's about experimenting and experiencing our own minds and testing it.
Exactly so. And oh my goodness, it takes our life over and fills us with joy and creativity and all of the energy that it takes when we're stressed out. That's a lot of energy down the tubes.
Mm-hmm.
And when we're free of that kind of worry, that kind of energy goes into pure creativity. And it benefits all of us. When we're really benefited, it benefits everyone. So that's beyond any kind of physical security for a body.
And what about anger, Katie? Is anger ever helpful or constructive in your opinion?
No, I sure have tested that one.
So the notion of righteous anger or productive, constructive anger, that doesn't speak to you.
No, it's clumsy. Someone has to win or lose. Someone has to be overridden. If I have an idea, I don't have to fight for it. I just live out of that idea. And if it's a good idea, then people take it on or not. And if it's a bad idea, then I'm not putting something out there in the world that causes some kind of, if it hurts me, it hurts you.
Right.
Yeah.
And let me ask you just personally, do things ever make you angry?
I'm so open to it, and I don't know. I'm so open to it. I can't say I would never be, but I can tell you honestly, it's been a long, long time.
Wow.
Yeah,
so you don't have bad days?
No.
That's fantastic. And what about fear? Do you become fearful of things?
No. But people looking at my life as I live it, like I've gone through periods where I was unable to walk with this small fiber neuropathy. It's losing the ability to walk and the pain and going through airports and wheelchairs and all this ridiculous stuff. And I call it ridiculous. I say ridiculous because it really is fun. It's different. And it could look like I'm having a rough time, but I'm not. That's why when I see someone in some kind of trouble, I'm really clear that they're not. And I don't just judge that. I look, I see, I talk to them if need be. I can see they're not, but I can see that when I consider what they're thinking and believing, they're in terrible trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm not having to project. I'm just giving you my experience in slow motion. I don't have to project their pain and get past that. I'm just 100% there in reality to support that person in whatever way is necessary, because there's no me in it.
It's so simple, and it takes practice, doesn't it?
The work is a practice. It's a daily practice, and it's free on thework.com, and videos, everything there to support people. If there's anything I've got, it's that has value, it's there, and it's no charge.
It's such a beautiful offering, Katie, and I've benefited so much from the work, and I know many, many, many others who have, and so I just want to thank you for taking the time to touch in with me today. I truly appreciate it.
Well, you're irresistible, number one, and if there's something that and the good you do, I'm so grateful, Mark.
Thank you so much, Katie. I appreciate it.